Hey guys, thank you so much for being here. Good morning, September 11th. I can't believe it's been 24 years. I can't believe it's been 24 years. All right, let's see what the market's doing. Would you take a look at that, Alti? Heck yes, you got to love Alti. We don't usually look at charts of high yield stocks because they don't really trade like a stock. It's a different deal. But the reason is because so much of the return is hidden in the dividend. I guess you could, as long as you have dividends included, adjust for I guess you can technically trade this like a stock. But anyway, great. I like to see that gap up yesterday morning. Sorry it didn't hold, but we're right back to where we were yesterday. So come on, LFGY. Or I'm sorry, this is ULTY. Anyway, all right. Well, speaking of LFGY, let's just go check LFGY. Look at all LFGY, killing it. Killing it. All right, let's go to the SPY or the S&P 100. That's a good looking bar right there. Is that the 730 bar or the 8? That's the 830 bar. Boy, you gotta like that. Get up in the first bar of the day, takes you to a new high, and we'll see if it's accepted or rejected. Let's look at SPY. There was buyers there yesterday in that gap, and even when it was retested, there were still buyers there. And we didn't know that in hindsight. We only know that in hindsight, but in hindsight, there was definitely still buyers there. Short-term buyers there, man. Why didn't I get some call? I thought about buying calls yesterday. I'm just never disciplined to do it when I need to. And then by the time I do it, it's usually too late. Or, then I get, anyway, I don't follow my own advice. I need to, anyway. All right. I need to get a plan, just like I tell you guys, stick with it. But I just kind of go off the vibe of the market. Anyway, all right. The 10-year looks really good, though. That's great for risk assets. Let's look at VIX and VIVIX. VIX and VIVIX are both down today. VIVIX was up a little bit yesterday. Well, quite a bit yesterday, actually. But VIVIX trades different than VIX. I mean, anyway, VIVIX is just chopping between 80 and 100 or something like that. 90 and 100 right now, basically. VIVIX is the VIX of the VIX. So this means that the VIX's IV, right? Is that right? VIVIX is the volatility of volatility. Yeah, it means VIX's IV trades around 80 to 100, whatever VIVIX is at. So the IV, so it measures the implied volatility of VIX calls, I believe. So yeah, and that would make sense because VIX calls are hella expensive. Anyway, all right. All right. Anything else we need to look at? Look at ARC up big today. Coinbase is even up. Now AMD's back to its usual losing self. It was glorious for yesterday when it was up. I was hoping we could get AMD to start trending up again. We'll see. Let's look at old Amazon pulling back. Google. Hey, tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock your time, 12 o'clock my time, I have a Twitter Spaces I believe with Brad and with Amy. And we're talking about Google. We're talking about Google high yield funds. I believe that funds are probably GUI, Goop, and probably the Roundhill one. They sent me a memo, but anyway, I need to figure it out before I go on the show, right? But I think I can talk on pretty much any of those three. It's like everything else. The reason Goop and GUI and whatever, the reason they're all doing so well is because Google's doing so well. Remember a few years ago when Coney was going up every day, or Coinbase was, and then MicroStrategy's had that huge run. I guess it takes getting in on one of these huge runs. Remember Facebook last year, people could not get enough of Fibby or Facebook, and so it's making Fibby do well. Anyway, it's Google's turn this month. Would appear to be Google and Oracle. I can't believe that Ellison passed Elon just yesterday. That's amazing. All right, where are my? I think I'm out of these. I'm out of caffeine. I'm going to be grumpy if I am. Gosh darn it! I thought I had one that had a little bit left in it. Jackson, what did you do with it? Did you do something with it? I could have sworn I saved a caffeine drops with one left in it. Oh well. All right, let's get on to some other stuff. Let's get. I can't believe I don't even have one of these with a little bit left in it. This one may have a little bit left in it. I used to have it. Addicts never change. I used to have beer cans all over my room. Nowadays I have. I'm just still disorganized. Still have. Nowadays I have spreadsheets everywhere or whatever I'm into. I mean, but and I have these caffeine Mio drops everywhere. And you can make somebody quit drinking alcohol, which is good, quit taking drugs, but you can't make somebody change their personality, or that's harder to change, right? All right. Well, anyway, I got enough caffeine not to be grumpy. Okay, so let's look at the crypto quartet. And full disclosure, I forgot to update this last night. So these are today's prices, but it's based on yesterday's holdings. These don't change too often. LFGY and GPTY, or LFGY and blocks don't change that much. Alti does change pretty frequently, but I'm sorry I forgot to update it. Like I say, the changes are right, and as far as them probably having the same stocks in there, it's probably right also. Here's a little trick I have here. That's not very satisfying. There's not very much sweet. I think it's the sugar that I'm addicted to, not the caffeine, but it's probably both of them. I could swear I saved one that had a little bit left in it for the morning. Anyway, all right, so here is, let's just look real quick. I don't think he'll mind too much. If he's watching, I apologize, but let's look at ETF Delta and see what he said last night. Or ETF Inspector, either one of them. But okay, so it's still over 3 billion. Got about $5 million in yesterday. Have a lot of cash, $500 million in cash. Option credit or debit. I haven't seen that before. That's pretty cool. Anyway, this guy does a great job. But let's just see. So it looks like they're out of GME, out of ELF, and out of Chewy, right? So now, knowing that information, did they add anything? And they added some Palantir and some SMR. So knowing that information, yeah, there's Chewy. So they're done with Chewy, done with GameStop, which is good because GameStop's down today. Great job. Done with Chewy. Chewy's up today. And I forget what the other one was. But anyway, all right. So this is close. Anyway, the good news is Alti's up 32 basis points. Average is up twice as much, but that's fine. Alti is fully capped, like I always remind people. A collar strategy is a fully capped strategy. That's one thing that LFGY has that does better than Alti, honestly. The LFGY strategy is better than Alti's in a bull market. Other things being equal, if they held the same stocks and everything. And then blocks is the best of the three of them in a bull market. All right, well, let's check out something else. There's Alti. So here's LFGY. They don't change that much. Their positions are probably basically the same. They kind of stick with the lineup more. Man, these guys are doing well today. Look at this. Now, these guys do have partially uncapped upside, and it's really paying off. Oh, I forgot to hook up my microphone today. I usually use this. I'm just using the computer mic, but I think my computer mic's good enough. Let me know if you guys hear any difference. One day I used the camera mic, and the camera mic is real echoey. But the computer mic, I never had any complaints on before. So anyway, put it in the comments if it sounds echoey or bad. But I'm hoping it sounds just as good, and that way I don't have to hook this microphone up every day. It kind of looks cool. I hook it up sometimes just for looks when I'm trying to do a show, and I'll put it in front of me. But I think on the sound, the computer sound is all right, but I'll let you guys decide. All right. So this thing's killing it. Partially uncapped upside. They have Circle 12.75%, up 12.75%. Now, granted, they aren't catching very much of that. They're only, oh no, I'm sorry. That's their position. Oh no, I'm sorry. The weightings, I'm sorry. The weightings are right here. The weighting's 2.54%. And yeah, and it's up that much. The 2.54 has nothing to do with how much they're catching. This isn't a buffer report. But it's still interesting. So I guess we can go to option positions, LFGY. Let's look at that. Let's look at Circle and see what they've got themselves in the middle of here. They sold that 125 and they bought the 135. That's a slick, that's a pro move right there, in my opinion. Like I've always said, if I was president, I would sign a presidential mandate that required all covered call funds to partially uncap the upside. You have to do call spreads or put spreads. You have to do spreads. No naked options. That'd be my legacy if I was president. All right. Defined risk only. They call me defined risk max. So let's look at Circle. Let's look at Circle really quick here. So whether it was a 125, 135 or 125, 130. Anyway, they're fully uncapped above 130 or 135, whatever it was. The market's at 127 now. Still have a day left in the week. Wonder if we go to 140 by tomorrow. That's going to be it's a good use case for covered calls. I wonder if it's time to buy this one. I mean, a Circle Internet Group. If you like to buy pullbacks or whatever, anyway, I'll let you guys decide. I don't know if Exponential's in here. He's a good stock picker, but a lot of you guys are. Let me know if you think it's time to buy Circle. I'll go look at and then I'll go look at the comments in a second and see what you said. All right. So now let's go to the next thing on the list, which is the blocks. Let's just do the blocks here. And they don't change your positions that much. And when they do, David usually tweets about it. He runs a different kind of business. And David is good about investor relations or is proactive. David's a really dynamic dude, as you guys know, the guy that runs this. But yeah, he'll usually tweet whenever they buy new shares. Like he put out a tweet, which I really appreciated, because if I forget to run my crypto quartet or I forget to look at ETF Delta or ETF Inspectors tweet or YouTube video, then I don't know. But for instance, what they did the other day is they put IREN in there, IREN. I think they added another one also. What do they? Cypher. And as soon as I saw Cypher, I told you guys about it because I thought it might be the kind of stock you guys would like. I need to stop telling you guys. I should have just gone out and got 100 shares myself, or I should have told you guys then and got 100 shares myself, or 1,000 shares in this case. But man, look at this thing. Look at this thing, Cypher Mining. Now let's look at that other one, IREN. One of my friends that I was talking with on the phone the other day told me about Iron like 2 weeks ago before I heard about it, before they put it in their portfolio. He had noticed it. But yeah, I want to say, wonder how long ago that was. It's literally been a couple of weeks. I should just, it's probably back around the end of the last month, somewhere around there. Anyway, all right. Well, good job, Blocks. Blocks is an incredible company. As long as the market keeps going up, Blocks is your man. If the market goes down, Alt is your man. I like to have a mix of both of them, and then you're covered in either event. I don't have Blocks yet. I'll get Blocks. You don't have to choose. All right, so let's go back to the crypto quartet. All right, well, what's going on with HODL? What is this thing? Is it just not very liquid? What's it doing up? Or this just doesn't work. For whatever reason, the price never works on the Google, I guess. I mean, there's no way. Remember, we looked the other day and it said HODL was up 10% and it wasn't. And then it just, for whatever reason, I guess HODL's like the new Circle. I guess I had a problem with Circle for a while on getting a proper quote. So HODL, then Bitcoin ETF. Yes, it's up 0.5%. I don't know how I get all those crazy numbers, but that one day I thought they were doing so well because it was up 10%. It was never up 10%. HODL has never been up 10% since I've been watching it. Right? I'm just trying to make sure that's right. It actually may have been back here on this day when it closed at 30 and the next day was at 33. I guess it's possible it's had a 10% day here or there. Right here on this day may have been the day it was. It went from 31.78 30. Anyway, whatever. But yeah, so I guess take that with a grain of salt. I don't know what's going on with that. Oh, public shout out to Rob from stocktools.app, who has the best tool out there on the internet. That sounded wrong. Somebody could scratch that. Oh my gosh. I have the sense of humor of a freaking 6th grader, 7th grader. Maybe I might mature to 8th grade by next year. But anyway, stocktools.app is a good product, let's just say. But anyway, and he's helping move the max factor, and with any luck, the max factor should be back by tomorrow, if not by this afternoon. So anyway, all right. Well, HODL. I know you guys like the max factor. We missed the top 20 show this week, but we'll have one this coming up week. All right. So we're off of Blocks. Let's get on to Salty now. With the caveats, the Salty may have changed your positions. We could probably look on. Does ETF Inspector do Salty also? I think the other guy does. Okay, here's the Salty update. So they added APLD and BMNR, and they added Bloom Energy, which was up huge. It's showing it as a negative for them because it was up and they're short. But they added shares. They got 2,700 more shares, double down, right? Double down. Let's see how they're doing today. Let's see if Bloom Energy still. Jiminy criminy. What are you guys doing? Jackson, you aren't in trouble. Oh, I see. I was looking. It's 2 bars there. I thought that was today's bar. But man. It's okay, Jackson. You didn't do anything. He's like, I'm not doing anything, Dad. I promise. What are you looking at, Jackson? Do you see a deer? You see the possum? What do you see? I wish you guys could see what's out my window. I'm thinking about changing my set where I have it behind me, but I have a beautiful green belt behind me with raccoons, possums, deers, cats, dogs. It's great. People don't go back there. It's really rough, but you see animals back there all the time. All right. Now that I have my new camera, I probably could do that, and maybe I'll do that. Get a better little backdrop here or something. All right. But okay, so back to Salty. Back to Salty and the Crypto Quartet. That's not the Crypto Quartet. That's the thing I'm working on with Rob. What happened to the Crypto Quartet? This is, I know what it was, because that's a back page of the Crypto Quartet that I was working on. All right. So anyway, back to Salty. Back to Salty. Here we go. Look at that. I mean, so why is it saying blocks here? We've already looked at blocks, right? Anyway, maybe we didn't finish blocks, but blocks is just murdering. Look, it's up more than its freaking benchmark is. It's beating the NASDAQ, I think, is what I'm benchmarking it against. That's incredible. Hodl's not really down that much, so forget about that. I mean, Ethereum's up 1.93, or at least this Ethereum ETF's up 1.93. Galaxy's up 11.17, and they're catching all of that sweet upside. They are catching all of that sweet upside. All right, now let's go to Salty, though. Where was Salty? Salty history. Salty. There we go. Oh, that's what it was. That's how I got messed up. Okay. So here's Salty, and these are all shorts, so it shows you the short position. It's about 7.5% in most of them. But yeah, Bloom Energy's up 5.51%. Great job, guys. Great job. But like I always say, I really don't think the stocks matter that as much as other people think they do. I mean, if the market would have turned around and gone down, Bloom Energy would have been down 5.1% or 5.5%, in my opinion. So anyway, but what are you going to do? Bitmine immersion's up. I mean, what are they doing shorting Tom Lee? I guess it's fine. I mean, like I say, same thing. If the market turns down, Bitmine immersion would be a hot mess. So Circle, look, they're short Circle. Great job, guys. They don't have a winner on the deck, do they? They don't have. They're getting shut out right now. They're pitching a freaking shutout. Salty's down 1.86%. And that breaks my rule of what I like to see. I like to see them down less than the market's up. Well, no, they're outperforming on the downside big time today. The market's not up 1.86, right? If they're down 1.86, I'd be happy with that if the market was up 2 or up 2.5. Let's see what the market is up there. Market's up 0.5 point. It's nothing to sneeze at. It's nothing to sneeze at. But anyway, all right. Look at all those open gaps on the daily chart. I mean, all right. But yeah, the market's not up that much. All right. So we're done with the Crypto Quartet. So let's see what you guys are up to. Shoot the breeze with you. I asked you guys a question. I'm glad the computer mic sounds fine. The built-in one day I made the mistake of using the new camera and just taking the default settings and it uses their own microphone. Well, that one's super echoey. So anyway, but I haven't made that mistake again, or not intentionally. I'll probably forget and do it sometime. Hey, Dan, thank you so much. TEM. Yeah. What's TEM doing? Is it blowing up or something? Blown up. And I mean, blown up in a good way. I mean, yeah, look at that. Tempest AI. At least Salty's not short Tempest AI, or I don't think they are. Let's see if they got that one too. Yep, they got that one too. They got that one too. Yeah, it's 14.13% here. How much was it here? Yeah, it's just the same. Wow. Great job, Salty. Good thing they're doing the reverse caller trade strategy. Sorry. They don't have unlimited risk, but that's still, they still have risk. Anyway, all right. So that's fine. Let's go on to something else. Let's make sure I didn't miss anything else here. No, I didn't. There's 10 of you here. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Blocks is incredible. The computer mic sounds fine. All right, perfect. All right. So now let's look at the index buffer report. Index bufferage. All right. Well, yeah, salty. Come on, salty. Down now it's down 2.5%. Come on. You guys are getting murdered. You guys are getting murdered. Feet's down. Guess it's a good day to buy it because I haven't bought salty yet. Anyway, feet and 5e, true to form, up the most, down the most every day. Feet's down the most other than salty. See, why triple Q is a better that's what I like to see. It's down 0.5%. Why triple Q's or the market's up 0.5%. Why triple Q's down 0.5%? I mean, that's about what you would expect. They sell options on the whole index. The J and them and all, just like with Alti, Salty's going to outperform in either direction because they choose these super high IV stocks. So I mean, I guess Salty will do a lot better when the market does go down than Y triple Q though, because it'll have worse. It'll outperform both ways, but it's pretty much behaving like it's designed. I mean, I hate that they lost so much today, but that just happens. All right. So as far as the good news goes, look at old SVOL outperforming. Look at old IWMY outperforming. We don't talk about that one much. IWMY. Let's scan over to that one really quick. We'll go to dividend channel. IWMY, and let's compare it with I don't know, RYLD. I'm just trying to think of another one based on the Russell. Okay, so this goes back a couple of years. This is a pretty good look for IWMY. I mean, let's compare IWMY to the Russell. Let's see how much ground they lost. Quite a bit. Boy, that is not a good look, but that is not a great look. Not surprising though, because it's yield max. I know it's not yield max, it's Defiance, but it's the same deal. It's max strategy, the max income strategy. Look at this baby. It's pulled off $47 in dividends. It only cost $61 initially. I mean, you almost have house money. This might be a good one to do a house money. I need to do a show on the concept of house money, or I need to illustrate some of these things I talk about in a better way or whatever. I'm always telling people not to try to live off of these, and I don't. But then I always admit at the same time I'd do the same thing if I was younger. So, but I don't want to make people upset that are trying to live off them. I mean, that's not my intention. I'm just trying to put the information out there, and the information I have, and whatever you guys do with it is up to you guys. But I'm not really trying to pick on the people that are. There's all kinds of uses for them, and I know there's other people that aren't trying to live off them, but they're using the dividends to buy growth assets and stuff. That's all fine too. Like I say, that's fine too. It's each his own, but. And that's really why I invented the max factor, like I always say, because if you are trying to live off them, we need something to know which ones are doing well this month, this week. Not just total return doesn't save you, on if you're trying to trade them. Not live off them is maybe the wrong word, but trying to trade them, trying to actually trade them. Anyway, so I hope the max factor helps, and I hope that you guys, I hope that I get it fixed too. When Salty goes down, your portfolio's up. Exactly. You don't have a high percentage, Marcus. I don't believe. You don't have to say, but I believe your percentage is lower than mine. I'm at 13 on inverses. So it is frustrating. I mean, when everyone else is getting ahead and you're behind, it's happened to me. I mean, I got back to my original starting point, but I can't make any ground past that, and it's because I'm too hedged. I mean. My brother-in-law doesn't care about the money. He cares about it, but he doesn't. Doesn't matter to him. There's no reason why I can't take more risk in that account. So that's why I'm thinking I'll just put blocks in there and a little bit of Salty, and and a little bit of W pay and take a little bit more risk. And I'm realizing I'm going to have, we'll have more risk. He doesn't care, I mean, anyway, or he cares, but he wants me to use my judgment, so anyway, but I'm trading it like it's my money and it's the last money I have in the world. And that's not probably the right thing to do for him or whatever. But also I'm trying to show off how these work. We're doing a proof of concept with but I'm not doing a great job of demoing how they work right now. I mean, as far as my getting in and getting out plan hasn't worked great. If I had just bought, an index-based one, triple QI or whatever, the same time and held it and not done anything else, I'd be ahead of where I'm at now. No doubt. Or, any of the triple Qs. I know people hate defiance and stuff, but even that one would be doing better than I'm doing. Right. So yeah, these bull markets are rallying too high. You mean too high, like TOO? Yeah. So what are you saying, Marcus? You limit, to 8 to 10%. Yeah, they are. I've thought about before, and this is pretty much what I do, is keep it at 10 or 15%. And then when we go under the 200 day, double it and keep it there until we get back above it or something. I mean, that's not a rule of thumb, but that's another defense. I heard Brad say something, income architect, smart guy. He has different philosophies than me on lots of stuff or whatever. I don't agree with everything he says, but smart guy. But what he did is he got all the way out of his covered calls when we went under the 200-day moving average, all the way out of his income stuff. That's a great plan. And I'm not trying to harp on this, but it goes back to my thing of don't try to live off these. If he was trying to live off these and had a margin payment due and was, and he's paying his mortgage out of it, you can't necessarily just take time off when it goes under the 200-day. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, but I think people like Brad and people like you guys that are using these things judiciously are good examples of how to use them. So, and I'm really not trying to rag on people when I say don't trade them or don't try to live off them. I'm really not. I need to stop doing that. All right. Actually, we just talked about that. It's active and it makes sense. Yeah, no, it is. Believe me, I've tried every way I've said in the back tester so many times, and I've looked at getting Alti and Y triple Q or just buying less Alti, which is what Tom told me I should do the whole time. Or Tom actually said, use bonds or I'm trying to think. But yeah, Tom just said, why don't you use bonds? I mean, it's not a bad idea. I mean, because I would be ahead of where I am right now had I just used bonds. If I had just bought a bond fund, it's almost been a year ago. So by this December, I'd be up 5%. Right now, I think the portfolio is up 2% or something. So who knows? Maybe by December, I'll be ahead of where a bond is. We'll see. Hopefully by December, I can beat the bond yield. We'll see. But anyway, all right. But yeah, Brad's a smart guy. Brad is a sharp guy. All right. So let's look at, you can just use CAIE or SPUT or any of what about triple QI? You can just use that one. Well, that's what that's what I was trying to go on. So when I look at Alti, just being as aggressive as you can with do like a 65-35, and it locks out a lot of the down. You don't get that much downside, but so it's great. It has all the less risk like I like. But then I look at what you make, and you make about the same. You make the same as you would have if you would have just bought less Alti and put the rest in TO. So anyway, like I say, I've tried to figure it out, but I also didn't want to believe initially that just selling stock is as good of a plan as selling options, but mathematically it's about the same. All right, so let's see here. Selling options is more fun though. I do these also to keep me busy and keep me off the street and give me something to think about. I like to have something, a hobby. A few years ago, I was into fantasy baseball, and I played daily fantasy every day, and that was fun, but it just wasn't the best hobby. All right, so let's get into this. Let's look at Rob's tool for a little bit. Why don't we? Rob's big tool that's the best tool on the internet. All right. If somebody didn't see the first part of that, they probably are not going to get the context. All right. You Max fans will get it. All right. So here's Rob's big, beautiful tool. Hey, and also I've been in talks with Rob. I think he's going to start coming on once a week or once every couple of weeks. And he's going to show us, because he makes new stuff all the time. And I can't really demo it as well as he can. And he's going to show us everything. He's going to show us his big tool once a week. All right. All right. So here we have it. The 1-day buffer report. Since my buffer report's not working, we can just run theirs. And we can look at this. They do it. He computes it a little bit different way than I do. We're just going to look at the deep dive. All right. So look at all WiMAX people. I mean, well, it's actually down a little bit, but hang on. Is everything down? No. Okay. Look at Soxy. Look at old Soxy and SDTY. Well, that's interesting that SDTY's up, but let's think about that. Why are they up? Well, they don't cap at night. We had a gigantic gap last night. They're uncapped. So they, that's good. And I would expect to see QDTY and QDTE and RDTY. Look at this, though. The Yield Max ones are stomping the Roundhill ones. So usually the Roundhill ones do better in that category, but they aren't today, though. Anyway, okay, so these are the good ones today. Soxy, Biggie, Renty, QDTY, LFTY, and RDTY. Those are the good ones today. And let's look as far as outperforming the parents. The best one is there's only one that's doing it, and it's Soxy. And then let's go to a week. Let's go to a week, and let's look at the ETF return. Looks like the week isn't working right now for some reason. They're still thinking about it. Let's just go to a month. How about that? ETF return, boom, Biggie, 2.41%. RDTY up 2.13. These things are killing it. RNTY, you guys have been all over that. Dan and several other people have in our Discord have been saying forever, we've been talking about these rental ones. I don't know where you guys got your information, but these home-based ones are good. I don't know if it's an exponential tip. Exponential is our tipster in Discord. We have several of them, but he's our most successful one lately. But I gave a good tip the other day. I told everyone before anyone else said anything about it, Cypher. My tip is just following people that know more than me. So, but Cypher, that it's a great one. All right, so let's look at something else. Let's look at. Let's look at stockanalysis.com. I wonder if we should look at these trending stocks, because I think Jay and them do also, to try to find stocks to put in salty or alty. Like when something goes viral, like what's this wearable devices? I don't know anything about it, but it has a great name. It's the right price for, you could buy 100 shares for $900. I mean, you could even probably run it. Do they have options on it? You probably wouldn't want to sell options, but so what are they doing? They announced a $4 million registered direct offering and current private placement. Okay. So they're doing a patent for voice and gesture control. That's just PR stuff. Anyway, I mean, this is one we're going to keep our eye on. I'm not saying it's going to be in alty or salty. But I could see if it was crypto based, I could see something like this going in blocks. Blocks uses less expensive growth stocks. I mean, like Cypher, for instance, is in block. Anyway, all right. So that's wearable devices. So let's go back. I kind of like that. Maybe we should start screening that every morning. But now I forget where it was though. Anyway, okay, so let's see. Klarna Group. I've been hearing about these guys forever also. I wish they had the price on this chart also. Anyway, Pfizer, Vance Holding Company. What in the heck is Vance Holding Company? Mogu Inc. I mean, tiny companies. UNH, Micron. Anyway, British American Tobacco, Palantir, AMD, Nebius, Avgo, Amazon. Okay, so anyway, let's look at bar chart also and just look at the option premium and see if we could pick out anything for Jay to put in Alti. But I'm saying, David, Nicholas, if you're watching, well, I guess wearable devices isn't it's not the right kind of company for blocks because it's not crypto based. But anyway, let's just go here and look at the option page, see if we can find anything interesting here out. Okay, so here we have it. I'm just trying to look for new ones. Oh, that's 70 cents though. All right, let's see if there's anything new on here. Can't believe Alti or Salty or somebody hasn't used Bed Bath and Beyond or any of these other ones. Okay, what the heck is Blend Labs? $4. $123 IV. We'll have to ask Exponential what he thinks about Blend Labs or he's ever heard of it. All right, let's look at unusual option activity and see if we can see anything in there. Good candidate for for somebody to put in the portfolio. It's $60. This open is a monster. BITF. What's BITF? Is that some kind of leveraged Bitcoin or something? Bit Farms? What the heck is this? All right. Well, that's the pick of the day right there. I don't know. It just has the right name. It's the right price, $2. And it's unusual option activity, meaning it's for whatever reason somebody's buying the heck out of those contracts. Let's go see which contracts it was. Yeah, there it is, Bit Farms. So it's the $2 call. 15 days from now, it's going for 32 cents. Now, I wouldn't sell that with your money. I mean, but you know, I might buy the stock with your money. I would definitely buy Bit Farms with your money. Somebody loan me $1,000, I'll go buy Bit Farm, and if we make money, I'll split it with you. And if we lose money, I don't owe you anything. How about that? But yeah, Bit Farms. Look at All Hive down here at 347. We've checked that one out before. Etsy, they're buying Etsy calls. That's probably an earnings play. Oracle calls, the 320s for tomorrow are going for $2.81. Now that might be a good, decent trade. If somebody had 100 shares of Oracle, sell that call one day. It's already exploded. It may keep going up, but I mean, that may be a decent trade, but I wouldn't sell the calls on Bitfarm with your money, like I said. All right. What is SO? There was one called SOC that was on here for a long time. Oh, Southern Companies. Southern Companies. Who's the guy that used to own that? It wasn't Perot, Southern Companies. It was some kind of, who was that guy? I thought he was maybe a Texan or somebody that was kind of outspoken. Somebody like Perot. Anyway. But back when I used to sell stocks in the 80s and 90s, that was a good company from what I remember. Let's go look. Yeah. Look at that freaking thing. IPO'd at 2 and it's at 91 right now. Not bad, is it? And of course, it's data center. Now that's all anyone's talking about is data centers and AI. All right. Well, we looked at options enough. For now, I think we have a good Bitfarms is the pick of the day. Bitfarms is the pick of the day. Yeah, it's going to be a great idea to have Rob on. And not only that, Rob also is an options bro. He not only that, he's a day trader. Not only that, he loves order flow. He subscribes to some service that I would love to subscribe to. It's a couple $100 a month called Bookmap, and it lets you see the order flow, and you can see all the dealer positioning and everything. Now, he knows a lot of, even if it wasn't for software, just like you guys, he's an interesting guy to talk to just about stocks. But yeah, with the software as a bonus, since he knows about stocks and option strategies, and he can come on here. Also, we need to straighten him out on some stuff. He has something on his wheel a little wrong. I almost emailed him today, but it's a small distinction. But also maybe we catch stuff. He'll take suggestions from us if there's something we want to see. He'll do it. Hey, Summit, thank you for being here. 25 minutes behind from the great 51st state of Canada. Summit man. I'm just joking. So, okay, Marcus, T-Oak is a cheat code. Yeah. It may not be the only one. I think there's other funds that do the exact same thing. I just like T-Oak because I like Greg. He came on the channel. But I think ESCA, I think there's other ones that do roughly the same thing. But yes, those things are like cheat codes. But it goes back to, like I always talk about, Tom has been a big influence on me. And he gave me advice about my brother-in-law's account. So why don't you just buy bonds or something, and then, or something like that. Anyway, of course I didn't take his advice, but I've been thinking about it now. And so all the strategies I've come up with when I'm trying to find ways to hedge Alti and Salty, that's where I was going with that previous story. You can hedge them and it works, but in all my tests, it works better just to do what Tom said. And Tom didn't say buy T-Oak, but Tom just said buy bonds. T-Oak's a bond for all intents and purposes. So I'm kind of doing the half and half. If you have like 25% of Alti, let's say you have $1 million retirement. So you have $100,000. Let's say you're conservative. So you only use 10%, even though Max said you can use up to 20. Let's say you use 10% for your income part of your portfolio. You got 900,000 in VU and 100,000 in income. Okay. Well, something like that, you could go 50-50 on Alti and T-Oak. And it performs better than it would to go 80-30 Alti Salty or any type of inverse. So like anything else, I should have listened to Tom. But anyway, T-Oak is basically a bond. The other thing for you guys that are market timers that like to jump in and out, you put your money in 25 Alti, or it could be blocks. It could be any risky fund, and then the rest in T-Oak. Then when the market pulls back, you guys that are timers and like to jump in and out all the time and are trying to live off of these, what I always say not to do, but whatever, but you guys that are doing it, that's awesome because you could, when the market pulls back, you could cash in some T-Oak and you could up your allocation, rebalance in other words. But yeah, T-Oak is a huge cheat code. I haven't, I in the back testing, I spend so much time with Portfolio Visualizer, and the best 2 stock income portfolio I found yet is Alti and T-Oak, and just adjust you can adjust the percentage to meet whatever income goals you need. But Alti pays like 80% or something. Even if you have a 50-50 allocation, you're pretty much going to get $50,000 back, give or take, at the end of the year. The other thing is that then you can, like I say, you can use T-Oak as Alti's NAV declines. You can use T-Oak to balance out Alti's NAV declining, or you can just rebalance from one to the other. But yeah, T-Oak's a huge cheat code. And maybe it is the best. I don't know, but I'm saying I think there's other ones. I don't want you guys to think I'm in the tank for T-Oak. I do like Greg, but I think there's doesn't SGov do the same thing? Yeah. So I mean, and there's other ones out there. I'm not trying to promote other ones. She's probably not going to come on my show anymore. But doesn't Cashy do the same thing? Yeah. So now, to be fair, though, look at Cashy. Cashy took a hit in April. Now it came right back. It wasn't a big deal, but it's something to understand. If you want really like a bond return, T-Oak's your one. It looks like Cashy takes a little bit of risk somehow, just by comparing just by comparing them with each other. But yeah, that's a huge cheat code. And I think I made a video on this, but I never have released it. But I need to I need to release it. I've recorded it like 3 times and just haven't released it on all this stuff we're talking about right now. The best 2-stock high yield portfolio is choose your stock. It could be YMAX, it could be blocks, it could be anything, and then T-Oak. That's the best one I found that measures the test out in Portfolio Visualizer. The thing is, though, in real life, you don't have to just use 2 stocks. In real life, people let's just pick Marcus. He's going to have a little CAIE. He's going to have a little QUSA. He's going to have a little Alti probably. I don't know, but and so altogether he has a nice balanced, safe portfolio or whatever. I'm just saying it's easier to test a 2-stock portfolio. And if you just want to get down and dirty, I'm just trying to isolate the facts or whatever. And so you can just look at a 2-stock portfolio, even though that's not really what you do. No one's going to get just Alti and T-Oak, but you could. And it tests better than almost anything that I have tested. It also tests fine YMAX and T-Oak, just whatever the bullish fund is that you want. Anyway, that may be a simple way to do it, and we can test it real easy and we can adjust is it 50-50? Is it 40-60? It's easy to test, easy to test. But anyway, I think a portfolio of Alti and T-Oak is basically the same thing in a grand scheme of things, is the same thing as somebody that has some triple QI, some QUSA, and some Alti. It's all doing the same thing. Everyone's just trying to balance out their Alti. I mean, that's the reason people don't go all in on Alti or whatever, because they realize, so people like Marcus, people that are successful might have some Alti, and they're also going to have some QUSA, something on the total end of the other spectrum. It's the same philosophy that T-Oak's doing. Box is another one. I couldn't think of that one. Dan. And I love the idea of Alti and Salty, but I'm going to get some Salty. I'm going to get some Salty anyway, but if I was just worried about the math, I'd just get Alti and T-Oak based on right now. Yeah, it does come down to taxes, and it comes down. Some of those don't pay you a coupon or a dividend, but they just appreciate at the same rate as the bonds do. That's what T-Oak does. So T-Oak is great if you aren't if you're for growth, to diversify, because you don't need that income necessarily. Alti is going to be the driver of your income, or YMAX or whatever it is. That's going to drive your income. The T-Oak's just going to balance stuff out. So I like the T-Oak method because it doesn't create a taxable event. It just appreciates. It's not taxable until you sell it, until you retire. Or I guess until you rebalance. I mean, I didn't think about that, but if you have to rebalance at that point, you have to. Anyway, I can't avoid taxes all the way, but yeah, I really think that's it. If you want income, if you don't want income, use something like T-Oak. But some of these other ones, I don't know if it's SGov or Cashy. Some of these other ones will just give you the payment every month. And so, yeah, but and maybe for somebody that's actually in retirement and maybe in a lower tax bracket, or, there's probably situations for sure that one situation works better than the other. But for my situation, yeah, long-term capital gain is true, Dan. But for my situation, or the best one I found in Portfolio Visualizer is T-Oak and Alti. If you guys find something that tests better than that, let me know. As far as a 2 portfolio, as far as if you had to use, if someone stuck a gun to your head and you could only use 2 high yield funds, that's the best one I found. But like I say, I'm open. We'll keep looking for them. It's not free money, but it is. But I would call that plan, though, discounted money. You get It's like going and buying stuff on sale or whatever. It's a good plan. All right, guys. Well, I've talked too long. I haven't even taken a shower today. I didn't even brush my hair before I came on the show. I'm wearing the same shirt as I was yesterday evening, I should say. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, I need to get out of here, take a shower, and I need to go look at the email Rob sent me and get my Max Factor working. So I'm going to go do all that. You guys do what you do, go make some money, and we'll get back together about 2:45 or 3, barring any other last minute questions. That's what we'll do. There's 12 of you guys here. I appreciate all 12 of you guys, not just the guys I talk to. These guys are guys I know from my Discord, but I'm sure there's other guys in here that enjoy watching this and just don't say anything. I appreciate you guys being here as well. All right. Yeah. Just making sure I caught everything. All right, guys. Well, I always think of something to talk about right after I sign off. But anyway, I think we talked about enough today or a lot of stuff today. All right, Mark. Yeah, thank you for being here. And I will talk to you guys